Hey guys, my name's Kirsten. We are coming at you live from Franklin Park Zoo. Happy Valentine's Day. Today's Zoo to You is brought to you by NIFA on behalf of the Youth Fund College Investing Plan. Today we are talking about love bugs. So these bugs typically don't get a ton of love, so we kind of wanted to showcase them here on this Valentine's Day. So the term bug can encompass any kind of creepy crawly. So if you like crabs even, spiders, scorpions, etc. Here we have our Brazilian cockroaches, which are actually insects. So in order for something to be classified as an insect, it has three distinct body sections. So the head, thorax, and abdomen. Also, all insects in the class Insecta, they have 6 legs. So these, like I said, are our Brazilian cockroaches. We're here in the birds world building, so we do have some noisy bird friends in the background, so please excuse them if you hear them squawking. So these guys belong to the order Blattoidea, like all other cockroaches. So these roaches are some of the largest in the whole world. They are found in Central and South America, and you can find them in caves, in trees, eating like the rotting bark, and on the forest floor. So these guys are native to Central and South America, so they really like it hot and humid. It's nice and warm in here for them as well. So these guys might look kind of gross, but they're really important to the ecosystem. So these are scavengers, so they'll clean up decomposing plant matter, fruits, seeds, dead insects, and they'll even eat bat droppings as well. So they're really important, keeping things nice and clean. So remember that next time you see a cockroach running around Boston. So since it is Valentine's Day, let's talk a little bit about Brazilian cockroach reproduction. So when courting a female, the male will kind of raise his wings up over the female and shake his abdomen. These males will actually fight over females, so they don't mess around, sometimes even to the death. So talk about dedication to love. Once they do mate and the eggs are fertilized, they are incubated for about 60 days, and the young are called nymphs. Sexual maturity is about at 8 months, and these guys can live up to 20 months. So just about 2 years. Now, if you take a look at these guys, you can see that they have kind of like a rounded head, and then they have wings, but they kind of gives them like a flattened appearance. And that is so that they can fit into crevices in tree bark, so they can get at some of their favorite foods. And then they also have those antennae. I'm sure there's a few sticking out. Yeah, I see some. And they will use those kind of to navigate their environment. So they can detect pheromones from other roaches so they can find them to mate. They can use them to find their food and just kind of get around their environment, kind of probing out in front of them before they run off like the edge of a tree or something. So they also have leg bristles. So that just kind of helps them be more aware of what is around them. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them into the chat, and I will do my very best to answer them. Aha! Katie has a great question. Do I have a favorite type of bug? People who know me here at the zoo know that I really like insects. And I think my absolute favorite type of bug, although I have a lot, is the praying mantis. So they're really super cool. I find them here, Chinese praying mantis around the zoo here in the summertime, and I always make sure to say hi to them. So bugs are super important to the environment. So I like to teach people a little bit more about them. So maybe people will try to change their mind and not think they're as icky, and realize all the cool things that they actually do for our world. Are there any bugs that are endangered? Another great question, Katie. Bugs are some of the most prolific reproducers. So I'm sure there are some that are endangered, ones that maybe don't lay as many eggs at a time. But there are some, like we have Australian walking sticks as well, and the female can lay well over 1,000 eggs within her lifetime, which is not very long. It's only about 15 months, so that's quite prolific. Yeah, and some bugs can even reproduce through a process called Parthenogenesis. So that means that the female insect is a strong, independent woman who doesn't need a man, and she can spontaneously fertilize her own eggs. But they can also reproduce through sexual reproduction. So those eggs that are produced through sexual reproduction, so with a female and a male, they typically won't take as long to develop as an egg that is produced through parthenogenesis. So those eggs are hatch more quickly, and the female can produce more. So I have with me some insects that we use at the zoo. So insects are a great protein source, and we feed them out to a lot of our animals here. So in this bucket I have right here, this little bin, I have some of the ones that we use in our animal ambassador collection. So the little worms that you see are mealworms, and then you have the adult form of the mealworm beetle. So that's the little brown beetle you see crawling around in there. And I also have, let me get it for you. This is the pupil stage of the mealworm. So it hardens from a worm into this chrysalis, and then out pops a beetle that's a little bit lighter in color and smaller, and then they mature into these darker, larger ones. So you can see, maybe you could see the pupa actually moving when I touch it. So that is the developing beetle inside, kind of moving around in there. I also have in my bucket, this is a super worm, so it's not a mealworm. You might think it's a really big mealworm, but it's actually a different kind of insect. These guys will feed out to like our pygmy falcons, and sometimes our frogs, and other animals that really enjoy the insect protein. We also feed out a lot of crickets, but I didn't bring any because I didn't want them to get loose in here. They're very jumpy. And also another kind of roach called the Dubia Roach. So again, our pygmy falcon will get a Dubia Roach every day. So insects have a lot of uses here at the zoo. This guy will also eventually turn into a beetle. I don't have one of those with me though. And they have the similar process where they start as an egg and then turn into a larva, then a pupa, then the adult beetle to repeat again. And then there's another kind of life cycle that the roaches actually take part in, and that is where they are an egg, then they are a nymph, which is basically like a tiny version of an adult, and then they go through a process where they have instars, so they develop that way, with gradually getting larger and larger and more mature until they hit that sexual maturity, and they are the fully formed adult who is able to mate and produce eggs to start the cycle again. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this Valentine's Day Love Bug Fest. I hope you come and see us here at the zoo and stop and appreciate our really cool bugs. Again, today's Zoo to You is brought to you by MIFA on behalf of the Youth Fund College Investing Plan. Happy Valentine's Day.